It's about scoring and preventing on both sides. How can we train attacking? It was not satisfying enough to that, oh yeah, they'll do it. We'll just bring it to the final third and then they have their freedom. So they go for it. This couldn't be it. This couldn't be it. Then you see coaches focus on 1v1. And once they focus on 1v1, they take away all the other options. So they start training 1v1 in 1v1. So there's no other chance. This basically limits the decision whether 1v1 is the best option in a specific situation or not. I don't want to teach you to drive a car from the back seat. So position is everything. Once you get better, scoring becomes easier. Try to finish the attack. Try to progress as quick and as direct as possible. Go.
Hello coaches, welcome back to another Modern Soccer Coach podcast interview. Big one today. We are joined by Andreas Schumacher, who along with Bernard Peters has written this absolutely phenomenal book, 2 versus 1. I got it 2 weeks ago. I didn't put it down. I couldn't wait to talk to Andreas about it. I'll put the link below, of course, to get your copy of the book. Highly recommend you get a copy, but I'm not going to ruin the book for you in this interview. I really wanted to get Andreas on and talk about the background to writing the book, and also, of course, I had some questions about going through it from a philosophical standpoint. Again, individual creativity, team structure, how do we blend it all together? Andreas is unbelievable. This book is unbelievable. Make sure you get a copy, 2 versus 1, available now on all bookstores and Amazon. And when you're in the shopping mood for books, we've also released a new Modern Soccer Coach 6-week pre-season training program, which has 18 session plans, all designed tactically around the game model, and has a webinar as well around maximizing your pre-season with your team. So if you're preparing for pre-season, please check it out, modernsoccercoach.com/shop. Love putting it together. Thanks so much for the support. If you enjoy this interview with Andreas, please make sure you like, please make sure you subscribe, and please make sure you share it with your coaching community. All right, 2 versus 1, here we go. Enjoy. Andreas, thank you so much for joining me today on the Modern Soccer Coach podcast. We're really excited to chat.
Thanks for having me, Gary.
So I've got the book here, and first off, you know, I appreciate you putting it on my radar. I love reading it, and we get a lot of requests to read books here. I'll always have a look, but we don't just bring on every book that gets suggested to us. It's got to pass the read test, and wow, did it pass the read test. It's unbelievable. I'm obviously going to put the links below. I'm going to encourage everyone to go buy it, and then I'm going to encourage everyone to tell me if they thought about it in the same way I did. We're not going to ruin the book, but I really am excited to talk about how the book impacted me and whether I'm on the same track or not. Okay, first question. Yeah, what was the inspiration behind it? Like, why 2 versus 1? Where did the inspiration come from?
I mean, first of all, I love winning. So in order to win, I need to score. So I've always had a big interest in make scoring more likely. So if I want to make scoring more likely, I need to practice scoring. And the inspiration, there's different things coming together. And back in the days, I went to Hamburg to a mentor of mine, Bernard Peters, who won back-to-back World Cups in hockey. And so I came from my background, and then he came, and we just kind of like smashed into each other and were chatting about thoughts and how can we train attacking. It was not satisfying enough to that, oh yeah, they'll do it. We'll just bring it to the final third, and then their creativity, they have their freedom, so they go for it. It was just like, this couldn't be it. This couldn't be it. And what when we are goal down, right? So defending is fine, and everybody, especially in Germany, yes. So defending structure, and then somehow I remember that one day I came into his office and we spoke about modern football training, everything. And then again, we came back to that concept of 2v1. And he said, kind of like we could write a book about it. And I said, why don't we? So let's just get it started. Back then, we didn't know how much work this will be. So it took 2 to 3 years. But yes, there we go. The book is out there, and it has a huge impact on coaching, hopefully. So let's dive in. Yeah.
We've done a few podcast interviews, and this was my initial perception when you told me the title. I'm like, oh, well, this is going to go against what we've been doing for the last probably 2 to 3 months, where, I think football is getting tired of the overload, and football is getting tired of the possession, boring, monotonous game, and people want a little bit more attack, as you say. So when I got the book, I thought, oh, this is just going to be an overload promotion. So, and it is nothing like that. And I want to make sure I get this right. So my interpretation was, of course, we look at it from almost binary, possession-based versus attacking creativity. But you kind of early in the book, you draw a line in the sand and you claim, it feels to me like you claim that successful 1v1 outcomes for the most part are temporary, statistically ineffective, and carry a lot of risk. Can you talk about your approach to 1v1, how you view 1v1 before we start?
Yeah, let's jump back to the beginning of your question right now. Was the title 2v1 seems like that we focus on 2v1 and it's getting very specific, but in general, and that was a big misunderstanding in the German market, we figured out is with the title, it's if we think of we attack, so one of our players has the ball, he carries the ball, and he always has the options. Do I go alone or do I involve a teammate? And since I only have one ball, so I only can give that one ball to one teammate. And this is the option I always have. Even if I don't want to progress, I step on the ball and I have a back pass option. I give it back to the goalie if necessary, right? So, and this is more of the understanding of, that's why when you attack this 2v1 is for us the option, do I go alone or do I involve a teammate? And then, yes, you said it's about progression, right? It's about progression. It's about creating something. It's about training and go for create a goal scoring chance. So coming back to 1v1 is, and that's what we've seen here as well, is like, then you see coaches focus on 1v1, and once they focus on 1v1, they take away all the other options. So they start training 1v1 in 1v1, so there's no other chance. And this basically limits the decision whether 1v1 is the best option in a specific situation or not. So the first thing we want to look at is at every moment in the game, everywhere on the pitch, when you have the ball, Gary, we want you to check if the goal is empty. Can you score? If you can't score, can I find the best progress option, right? And if not, how can we prepare progress option? So the intention is to progress and to score. So now if you only focus on 1v1 and train like it's 1v1, you limit the choice of, is 1v1 actually the best option here, or should I involve a team? Should I go for a 1-2? And then coming back now to round this up is the best 1v1 players. It makes 1v1 makes it easier when they have an additional option. And this additional option can either support you in a way with an overlap, an underlap, or even with staying away from you to create that space for you to win that 1v1. And then there's the next option. In training of 1v1, it's always aimed that the guy on the ball needs to beat his opponent. But as we've seen, and you guys, everyone is watching, most of the time you don't actually need to beat that guy. You want to create a next option. You want to open up a passing window. You want to open up an opportunity to finish. But going all around and then to attract the next one is most of the times not even necessary. So and this comes back to that 2v1, which if I have a teammate, if I have an option, a support, it makes my 1v1 easier to solve.
Yeah, it's fascinating. You're therefore not, and let me get this right, you're not saying that the 2v1 has to be the two-player relationship to unlock it. It can be individual play, but the second player is required to draw an option or draw attention or create way better opportunities. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. And for sure, we can argue it's 11v11. So there's no 1v1, there's no 2v1, which is fine. Yeah, fair enough. It is like that. But once we want to progress and we make that decision to either shoot, dribble, or pass, right? We have that decision of making it all alone individually, and it's up to that player on the ball, and we need that support.
Yeah, again, I like how it challenges this, because I think we need more of this in the community. Again, we think that because we've got a package or we've got a product at the minute as a game, professional and youth, that's pretty drab for the most part, and we say, okay, well, let's turn it into a 1v1 game. But it 1v1, I mean, I done a presentation to a group of coaches 2 weeks ago, and I put up a picture of the Harlem Globetrotters and said, hey, listen, like, is this how do we want 1v1 to just be everyone just playing in isolation? But that's not it either, right? Like 1v1, as you say, there's well, we can train 1v1 all day and we can sing from the rooftops, but if we go out to the game, the situations we're going to require support because of the nature of the game.
Yeah, totally. So if we look at the game and if we look at what we actually want to improve, now we're in an attacking phase, right? We want to improve attacking football action. So either it's passing, shooting, dribbling, asking for the ball is all attacking football actions. So like you said, I'm influenced by the situation. I communicate with my teammates and with my opponents. So within this, I need to understand what's the best solution for that situation. And then I need to be able to execute that best possible solution. So again, if I take away the whole situation, so I don't need to understand how to solve the situation, I need to understand how to solve a 1v1. But most of the time it's taken away too much. So if we have boxing, like we put us together in a ring, this is 1v1. This is either you survive or I survive. So there's no other ways of communicating. But in a football game, yeah, my goodness, I have 10 teammates, 11 opponents. So within this provokes my action. And then I go and try to solve it. And in the best case, we'll touch base on that later. In training, in the best case, I train and practice to get an unconscious understanding with each other when we play left side or we play right side, right? To know exactly, interpret your actions the way your intention is, that we can feed each other with 1-2, with the right moment, with the right position, the right moment, the right direction and speed of our actions. So that's it.
I went to a youth tournament it was about 6 months ago in Spain. Some of the top academies in Spain were playing. I went over with a group from the United States. There's a lot of North American teams as well. And the biggest thing for me that kind of started to influence my thinking was the European teams, the top academies, in two-player relationships around the pitch dominated, whereas I felt as if the North American players, the young players, were trying to perceive collective shapes all the time. And so then I went back and I built out I suppose a methodology which was built around starting with initial, under six, familiarity with the ball, and then building into two-player relationships, then building into three, then units, then collective principles and all that there. Now, what I perceived at the time was that the two-player relationships were a progression, but what your book challenged me as well to think about was the two-player relationship stays constant rather than it doesn't move. They don't outgrow that, if that makes sense. Like, it still works at the professional level. Can you talk a little bit about that and how, I suppose, the relevancy of it throughout, that it stays constant?
And you mentioned something in the beginning that it's stuck in my head right now. So it's, if we look at all these details and we oh my goodness, nowadays we are so into the game in every little detail and every aspect. So as deeper you go, there are junctions where we go just right. So you don't find a way back. So, but if we go all the way back, right, and we take the game and we want to improve the players within the team and with the context of the game. And then it doesn't matter if you start with a 3v3 or a 5v5 or 7v7, 11v11, whatever format you play. But if we take the game as a starting point and not if it's a two-player relation, if it's a 1v1, if it's a basic technique they want to focus on, and then we build up upon a methodology and training. So the starting point of everything we think of is a game. Doesn't matter the format, period. So I've been working in youth academies in Germany, and we've played 5v5. That was like we've had tournaments all year long with 5v5. So in the small format of 5v5, you always have scoring and preventing. The most important things. I see players around the world, they're all good in passing the 12-yard pass into the foot of my teammate. That's easy, right? There's no pressure. I just turn, pass the next pass. So, but what the book is about and what our intention and our idea is, how can we make it work when it becomes dynamic, when it goes in narrow spaces, when it goes penetrating the box and really going into scoring. So now back in the 5v5, you always have that scoring and preventing, which is awesome. And then as the game goes bigger, you get lost in translation and then it becomes a running game, it becomes a passing game, it becomes a possession game, it becomes a whatever, an infight game, right? But again, it's about scoring and preventing on both sides. So 5v5, I circle back, I was back then, I wanted to win. I wanted to help the team to win. I was 11, 12-year-olds. So every time I had the 5v5, two fields. So the warm-up was within the 5v5, right? Even if it's the easiest coordination kind of, it was positional in the everyone on his position. 5v5, we go, warm-up, boom, bam. Then we go passing, within. We go 2v1s, within. We cut off something. Everything goes scoring, preventing, all the time. So as I grew within my career and up to top level, I said, like, that's it. So I need the field, I need goals, and the goal will be decided in the boxes. So I make sure my priority is in and around the boxes. I cut off all the other, I said, BS, right? But I want to focus on this. And now I forgot your question almost, right? So what you saw the session, the possession kind of, yeah. Start with the game, doesn't matter which age. If your format is a 3v3, get that pitch on. You don't need cones and sticks and everything. You just need that. You need that. That's intention. That's what we all live for. That's why you start going. And then to finish this one is like, if we focus on defending, right? If we start on defending, and both is equally, there's defending and there's attacking. Fair enough. But if you defend well, you might end up with a 0-0 game. So you need to score in order to win. That's a given. If you don't score, there's no way to win. So now if we look at how we are all human beings are built, in the beginning, if you have kids, I have kids. Yeah. Like in the beginning, they destroy everything, right? So I build a tower, they come, poof, they destroy it. So, and it seems like they have fun, but what's the reason for them to destroy it? Is to understand how it's built. It's to understand the physics, how this thing is built. So if I smash it, it's destroyed. They learn to understand, oh, now if I stag it this way, it falls. So that's the same. I love winning. I love scoring. And everybody who starts playing soccer wants that feeling of, I get goosebumps, right? Wants that feeling of, yes, we scored, we made it, we dominated, we won. So this is it about. And then the same is, if we focus too much on destroying and defending, I mean, this is not what we're born of, because once we understand how to destroy, how something's built, we want to create, we want to build, right? We want to, and that's when kids have these like shiny eyes and they flourish because they start building. They feel confidence in We know how to score. We know how to score. We can score every time. Give us a ball, we'll figure it out. We're going to score. We're going to score. And that's what we're going to send out with the book. We want to help coaches and players to focus on improve scoring. And scoring is only difficult as long as you didn't master it. Once you get better, scoring becomes easier.
Coaches, if you enjoy the Modern Soccer Coach content and you're looking for more videos, more webinars, we have all our webinars on the Modern Soccer Coach Insider. Tons and tons of different types of webinars, tactical webinars, player development webinars, sports science webinars, set piece webinars. You can check them all out there for free once you are a member. And then we also have more sessions uploaded, more resources uploaded, and we have a community chat every 2 weeks where we jump on and talk to the coaches, take a topic and go through some more analysis or session planning. Tons of interactive work, next level for Modern Soccer Coach. Please check it out, link below, Modern Soccer Coach Insider. Thank you. Yeah, moves us along nicely. There's a quote in the book, and then you put some questions, or sorry, some examples around it. 2v1 situations are not equally present in an 11v11 game. And again, sounds easy, but then you start thinking about it and it challenges you and how you define it. You do a great job of using Manchester City examples in the book about the different solutions. But some of these examples, the 2v1 were different distances. The 2v1 maybe, again, someone could have interpreted as a 5v3. The pictures were different. How would you, for consistency say, listen, that's definitely, is it a two-player, two-pass action, or what would be your definition for it?
So guaranteed we can find a common understanding. I said, this is a 2v1 and this is not, and there is no clear line, because as I mentioned at the beginning, it's more about, do I share the ball with a teammate or do I do it alone? So this is a common concept. And then we named it 2v1. It's a cool fancy title, and it was given it like you faced it in the beginning, right? But anyways, it's how can we exploit the central space behind the back line, or the central space in the box, central space in front of the goal. And this is it about. And if I have to involve a teammate, that's fine. But how can I ask for the ball? To progress the ball, I need one who passes or dribble. I need another one to becomes a passing option. And I maybe need 2, 3, 4 one who create space to progress and to finish the attack. And therefore the pictures are different. And yes, we used Man City because it was quite easy to find clips, because you could see it in every single game, right? You could see every single game. It was easy to find good situations. And yeah, this is about, so there's no clear definition about this is a 2v1, and it doesn't matter if something's a 2v1 or it's not. This doesn't even matter. So thanks for that question, because it's bringing it up. It's how can we progress? Do I have to involve a teammate, or is it dribbling better? And then it grows game inside. When do I have to stay away to make the space the 2v1, right? Make the space the advantage of the attacker. We all know if the attacker has more space, then it's easier to attack. On the other side, it's harder to defend with more space than with less space. So yeah, this is it about.
Yeah, again, it opens your mind, and it constantly challenges you to think. I would say go micro and macro and kind of combine that there, which I think is so healthy for coaches. With those variations, situations and variations, again, you do a brilliant job in describing them. You do a brilliant job in showing it and then aligning it to 11v11. How would you advise coaches to kind of communicate those variations without being, you do this,
Oh, awesome question. Overcoaching, right? Overcoaching. So we want to build situations that provoke the solutions. So the better we do the job um, designing a specific training form or exercise that already provokes the desired behavior, we've done a good job. There's no need to over-coach within that. And then again, I just want to zoom out a bit and start for me with the 11v11. Right, so we only go back as far to 2v1s if it's needed. If I see a problem in executing, then I try to simplify the situation, but still have that kind of space where they're at. Let's say it's a left 10 and a left winger. So if I want to work with them and they have it could be a 2v1, a 2v2, but it goes towards the goal. Right? Every time it goes towards the goal. And it's about, there's one coaching I use, and it's that easy that sometimes I think it cannot be that easy. So that's why I don't need a lot of cones and sticks anymore. I only say, try to finish the attack. Try to progress as quick and as direct as possible. Go. As quick and as direct as possible. So they come back and I said, would this work in a game? So with that question, I trigger a reference that's linked to the game. I don't want them to train a practice exercise. I want to improve their performance within the game. So I need to make sure, and that's why in one part, I always work with a video. So this is the situation. This is where we're exceptionally good at and we want to keep on building upon. Or this is where we lack we could do a better job here, but this is the situation. So this was the situation from last Saturday. So this is here out on the pitch. This is it. So you're in that spot. Go. Try to be as direct and as fast as possible. And with the question, would this have been worked in a game? They are smart enough. They say, maybe not. They say, okay, try again. Be more direct. Be faster. That's it.
I want to go off. I hope I can loop this back around, but I'm going to go off tangent a little bit. But German culture, I'm fascinated by the cultures and we're looking for ours still in America, and we'll get to your opinions on the American landscape. We'll get to that. But I want to talk about the German culture. It seems to be, you referenced there, you said, okay, there is a transitional element to Germany, like there is a directness to German football, but there's also, like, Germany have tactically been the best for years and years. How on earth has German culture created both a possession-based game, structural game, and this directness about it? How has that happened?
Well, that's over my head, right? So I have an idea, but I don't know if this is the truth, right? So it's yes, I think back then as I played and as I grew up, so playing is essential. Like you learn to play football by playing football. So the more you play the game, doesn't matter the format, you play the game, it has tactics. Because tactics is like there are teammates, ways of communicating with each other. And the more you play the game, the overload is tactics. Because you have the whole team, again, 11v11. So the overload is tactics. Game insight is needed, is there as well. And there's executing as well. But with 11v11, there's a lot of communicating going on. So like the more you play the full game, the more tactical, how do we say it's tactical, is not quality, what is it? I'm looking for the word. I don't find it. I'll come back to this way. So your tactics become better, right? So, but then you also, there's a big mentality in working hard and winning, right? You're only worth something if you win. Right? It's not that I think that's the best approach, but from back then it was like, it's about winning. And if we're honest, there's sometimes in the world of development and winning, it's the wrong question. The game itself, it wouldn't be a game if it's not about winning or losing. It doesn't matter if you're 5 years old and play a card game or whatever game, or the moment you play a game, it's about winning. So you can't take away winning. And it's not development or winning. the game itself, the demands of the game, football in every age, it is about winning. So now we as coaches, as academies, as club, we can have different intentions, but that's a coach intention. If I want to develop a player, this is my intention, or this is the intention of the academy. But the whole question about should we focus more on development and less on winning, or more on winning, less, this is just a whole, it doesn't make sense. That whole question, the whole discussion to me, it doesn't make sense. So back in Germany, I think winning was always important. So you want to win something, right? You want to win. And then compared with playing, which gives you a tactical understanding, and that eager to win. Maybe this combination is at least something that makes Germany throughout the last decades a team that's always like top 10 in the world, and just keep going for it.
I do see that, and I do think that's, again, Germany as a culture seems to be comfortable with that, you know, efficiency and outcome, whereas in the US it seems to be we are focused on winning, but it's the result, it's the actual experience of post-win whereas it's what you're saying there is like, and you can see how comfortable you are with it. Like, it's about winning, and it is about winning, because in golf, if my kid plays golf and if he shoots 120, 130, you know, I can't say you played well. But in football, we seem to have this tension between, but I agree with you, like, you have to be able to perform and score goals, and that is enjoyable, because that's attacking football, which leads to wins.
Yeah, great example, Gary, great example with the golf and the football. Yes, because within the 11v11, you can have your best game of your life and still lose. Right? Which in golf, when you play your A game, I mean, I'm not a pro, but I try to play golf here and then, right? So if you have your best game, that ends up with a less number of shots you take. But yes, within 11v11, you can play your best game and still lose. So, but there is a moment when your frontal cortex is like almost grown, like by the age of 16, 17, lately, you need to learn how to win. Not only you want to win, the kids want to win. We should never take away, oh, winning is not important. If there's only one time you as a coach say, winning is not important, I mean, come on, you take away the whole meaning of why they started playing. Hey, why shouldn't I ask? Oh yeah, I did a good job. Why? I want to win. So it is about winning, but there's a difference to train them on how to win, or to just keep them with their spark. We want to win. Yes, we want to win. And then we could phrase it, yes, we did not win. Okay, we need to train that, right? We need to more effort. We have to try harder, and then I help you to figure it out, and then for sure I can focus and can in the end emphasize on, wow, the effort you put in, the way you trained, you were eager to get all the info. You tried it, you kept trying. And you can focus on that to have a healthy mindset, to create that healthy winning mindset that helps you for later. But then once you get 16, 17, it is about how to win, how to get that, how to score when it matters, how to have a better risk management when it comes towards the end of the game. And yes, I don't like delaying the game. Yeah, it is not my style, but if it helps winning in the end, come on, we need to get that win. This is why we play, right?
I love it. All right, I'm going to bring this back to the book. Another aspect I enjoyed about it, training variations, which I'm obviously really passionate about, and I'm intrigued. I always love seeing a new idea, and you present quite a few of them. How important is it, Andreas, to have different pictures as they start to learn how to win, and variations in the training? How important is that to the process?
Yeah, for sure. It is important to a certain extent. Because look, if we if you jump on YouTube and social media, you'll find thousands of exercises. And then you either like it or you don't like it, and then you make it yours or not. It's kind of like, it seems like coaches are fishing what they're subjectively like or dislike, and that's where they go through. But a mentor of mine, Raymond Verheyen, does a great job in educating coaches. And this is just, besides Bernard Peters, who took me aside, but Raymond Verheyen does a great job in giving objective perspective on what the game is. And so coming back to your question is about, I lost it. Is the variation. So if you only take the pitch, the two goals, now the problems occurring are kind of the same. So the perspective I look at our games is, when I look at attacking, where did our attacking break down? Were we able to easily exploit the space behind the strikers? Good, check. Were we able to exploit the space behind the midfielders? Okay, check. But we weren't able to exploit the space behind the back line and penetrate the offside line, and then most of the time it was on the right side. So I think here is that prevented us from creating more and from scoring more. So we are problem solvers, but we need to look at problems that actually limits us of winning. So then I take this one, said we have problems in penetrating the offside line on the right side. So here we go. I'm going to train that. But now I explained it away from like, don't get me wrong. It's not what we think in the Guardiola kind of area. Build up is from back to front. So my thinking goes backwards. It's like from front to back. So when I start training with the team, and it's like a week ago to go back starting, I start from where do we want to score? So it goes that post width to the box. We're going to score here. So I start with scoring there. So where do we want to have the last passes? Okay, somewhere around this area. The shorter the pass, the more likely it's a completed pass, more likely we can create and score. So, and then I go back, but just to an extent, come on. We can exploit the space behind the strikers. Come on, that kind of works, right? So, and this is my whole thinking, that this changed so much. This changes everything, because I got rid of all the BS. Scoring. This is why the book is about. I hope you can feel my passion about it. And so then I help the team scoring. I help the players to understand how to score, how to create chances. And yes, then you got your counterattacks. Come on, you have seen trained counterattacks. Coaches are passionate about create a situation that leads to a turnover that might lead into a counterattack. So again, 5-6 years ago, I was like, why do I build a situation that anyways leads to a turnover that then lead to a counterattack? Even if I don't train there will be turnovers in the game. There will be guaranteed there are turnovers in the game. So I got rid of all that only takes away time. So I said, here is it. Start at the halfway line, start in the own half, go 3v3, score. Just encourage coaches to train what the demands of the game actually ask for. And a counterattack sometimes goes 3/4 pitch. So then we have to train 3/4 pitch. Just go for it. Keep that speed and keep it up as high as the demands of the situation are. And go. Because that's when you think of, another counterattack. Well, we need to train. We need to prepare.
Hello coaches, we'll take a quick break here. Thank you so much for all your support as always with Modern Soccer Coach. If you're enjoying this interview, please make sure you like it. Please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you share it. And please consider joining us for our new launched Modern Soccer Coach Insider. It's a new platform. We've got a ton of requests to go a little bit deeper into the content that we do with the breakdowns of the podcast. So we have built out Modern Soccer Coach Insider. 3 massive advantages to join. Number 1, you get access, on-demand access to every single webinar we've done at Modern Soccer Coach. And as you know, there are quite a few of them over the years. You get access on demand. They're easy to find. It's all laid out really, really well and professional. Second of all, we will continue to build out content. Here are some of the upcoming events for the next 4 to 6 weeks at Modern Soccer Coach. If you're a member of the Insider, you get all of these for free, and you get to participate in the members only. Members only are Insider member calls. We'll look at Luis Enrique with the group of Modern Soccer Coach Insider. We'll put together an attack and transition webinar for everyone. Again, free for everyone who's members of the Insider. We'll look at attacking principles and how to create those. And then we have a new Modern Soccer Coach set piece workshop, which will be out in July. And then something a little bit different we're putting together with our members, how to successfully use throw-ins with your game model. All free for insiders. New sessions, new coaching resources that you will get access to on the platform. And then third of all, the most important thing for me is the ability for us to connect and collaborate with the coaching community that we have engaged over the years. So you'll have an opportunity to jump on calls with myself. I'll put the link below, Modern Soccer Coach Insider. Massive, massive appreciation for your support to help us build it. Now we need one more favor, and that is to jump on and join in the conversations over there. We won't stop producing Modern Soccer Coach content, of course, but there's only so far you can go on YouTube. There's only so far you can go on a post on LinkedIn, and we want to go a little bit further with you guys. So please join us, Modern Soccer Coach Insider. Link is in the comments. Link is in the description. Join us today. I know the answer to this, but you've referenced it a couple of times about this idea of a game that is going to go from front to back. We've lost our way a little bit here, haven't we, in terms of how we're communicating that? And I mean, every day I listen to a perspective on it, I guess, and it seems that I don't know where the coach ego of being part of something that you've actually grown 16 passes and you can put your name on it, versus, again, a more pragmatic approach that still... There's a beauty in a counter-attack. There's a beauty in a transition from 60, 70 yards. One of the best goals, again, as a United fan, was against Arsenal, a counter-attack, Rooney, Ronaldo. And I remember that there. But why do you think then, and we're talking session design, why do you think transitions are just glaringly missing?
I don't know. But the very beginning of you was awesome start. Because every coach out there, we want players what's the word to so we have a team intention, right? So we want players to contribute to the team intention, and we don't want players that put their individual intention over the team intention. So we as coach, we kind of find a way to set the team intention of attacking. And then what I used to say is, can you guys, you players, can you fall in love the way we attack? And then with all your qualities, go all in. Make this your biggest love, right? Fall in love with the way we attack and contribute as much as you can with all your qualities to that way of attack. Because you all have good intentions. You all want to score. But we all know that. Oh, I had an idea. Oh, both were good ideas, but it does not link. So coach's job is to set that team intention and then make everyone fall in love. And then they start feeling how it comes together. So now what you've said in the beginning with, if I love, this is my playing style and we can kind of keep possession forever and we make the team move and we dictate the pace. So what is the coach doing then? He puts his individual intention, even not over the team intention, even over the intention of the game, right? Because passing does not help you win. Scoring does help you win. Preventing does help you win. And you might need a pass, but the intention of passing. And there was just recently, it was an interview by Juan Malilo, right? Who said every pass is an intention, the intention to progress, the intention to create. the intention to score. And that kind of got lost in translation. That last 10, 15 years, it was about keeping the ball. And this is what the book points out is keeping the ball is nice, but with the intention to score, right? Because if the goal is empty, we want to put the ball in the net. That's it.
Yeah, there's some games you go today, and if you actually did take the goalkeepers out, bar the build-up, nobody would notice. Nobody would notice.
You're right. Oh my goodness, and this is so true. This is because they think from next, and we all want to play. Hey, if the goal is open, score. If the 9 is free, damn, give the 9 the ball to score, right? If the 9 is not free, check for the 10. Maybe you check for the wingers, check for the 6, but you want to have that, like you said, the directness. Oh my goodness, if the goal is empty, yeah, you need to score from. Just get that ball in the net and go get the win.
Yeah, it's funny because, I mean, I used to always laugh when I was a college coach and I'd go recruiting, and 90% of the conversations you would have with coaches about, it's the same old thing. How was the season? How's things going? How did you finish up? And they'd always be like, do you know what? If we had a goal scorer, we'd win the league. Everyone used to say that. And used to think, listen, if anyone had a 25 a season goal scorer, they'd win a league. But we look at goal scoring as an individual action when really, to your point, if you actually work backwards, we leave way too much open.
Yeah, totally agree. So it's a team sport. It's a team sport. So everything is linked to the team. We cannot take this away. It's 11v11 football team sports. So even like if I look at penalties, it's a team task, right? You have that one, but we organize a rebound. Nowadays, you kind of make sure that the US doing a great job. They even fake and decoy who's taking it, right? So it is a team thing. So is attacking. Defending is a team thing. And it seems like, Gary, this is weird. I don't know how this exactly is. I only spent maybe a year in the US or so. Too short to get into everything in detail. But it seems like German players, speaking about German players, if you as a coach come up with a defensive plan, with a defending plan, right? This is the way we defend. So they easily buy into it. I guess we need to be compact, and then if he jumps, I jump, and then we go, like we have to stay compact. Like everything buys into defending. I have never heard the coach saying, yeah, defending, I leave it up to your freedom and your creativity and your qualities. So, but how the hell is this in attacking? So you believe in something in defending and you don't believe it in attacking. Come on, it doesn't make sense. So attacking is a team thing, and attacking it makes more fun together, right? And then it helps the scorer. It helps you to get a goal scorer who scores more than before. So it's a relationship. Is everything needs to be together. What's the positioning? Everything starts with position. I don't want to teach you to drive a car from the back seat. So position is everything. Then it's about the moments of whatever action you're about to do. There's a direction and a speed. This is it. So this is what I focus on. It goes about position. If position is not set, is not correct, I don't coach moment, direction, speed. Because this would be linked. I teach you driving a car from the back seat. No, I put you in the front seat, behind the wheel, with the face forward, not backwards, right? With the face forward. So put your hands on the wheel, and then we keep going.
Yeah, staying on your experience in the US. I know you said you were only there for a year, but and again, this is a perception question. So if I'm not accurate, call me up on it. The experience at St. Louis was a model of play that was highly transitional. Again, if it's wrong, say it. Like a Red Bull style of football. As an expansion team, how did you experience that going into the league in the American landscape? Was that difficult to coach? Was that easier to coach?
that's highly subjective, right? So there are some things I really liked about the players I've been honored to coach there with that new team coming up. Was like they were thankful to be coached, right? Even at the end of every session, they come up and say, "Thank you, coach." And I was wondering like that, thank you guys, you put in the effort, right? So, but you don't have that in Germany. That's taken for granted. We're at the session, so nobody comes up and thank you, coach. So, but that was really nice. So you've kind of had that they were focused. And speaking about transition, yes, how do we say this? Somebody came up with statistically saying back in the RB days, it's like the chance of creating something within a couple of seconds after turning the ball over is higher than trying it out of possession. But you can tweak numbers the way you want to tweak it. Today's, if you look at the numbers differently, you say the longer the sequence is, the better the chances will be, right? And then it comes back to it's subjective. I don't care if we create out of a transition moment or if we create out of a organized possession moment, but the fact is I want to create. I want to score. So that's why even you can even have in a good build-up, you can have situations they look like a transition moment, even there was no turnover. So even this whole kind of setup of game phases thing, that if you have the ball, you attack. If the opponent has the ball, if the opposing team has the ball, you defend. Doesn't matter what happened before, I don't care. But I want to make sure that we're good to create and score in all of these moments. So coming back to St. Louis, yes, it was built on we go transition. This was the big idea. But then even in youth academies, like, how do we build game inside? How do we build a tactical awareness? How do we build executing decisions on the highest level? So, and this means we need to have a proactive style, because only a proactive style leads to us making mistakes. And we want to make sure, and that's a picture I always draw, even in Germany, everywhere, it's like once you get from youth to professional, so like that, you make that step, like you go over that bridge. So you get measured on how good you are. So, and then you either make it MLS or you make it second, third, fourth, you kind of get sorted pretty quickly. You're not good enough here, you go down. You're not good enough here, okay. So we need to make sure before I send players over that bridge, they have to make every possible mistake before going over that bridge. And that's a perspective on those mistakes, right? So they need to make these mistakes in order to learn. So therefore, we decided to have a highly proactive playing style in attacking and defending in the youth academy. And yes, now it comes back to winning. I know as a coach, this kind of style risks winning. So I take the risk as a youth academy coach and make winning less likely, because I ask for a highly proactive style that will guaranteed lead to mistakes. But if I see these mistakes as learning, as the sequence of learning, and again, before that bridge, I want them to make as many mistakes. They rather die trying, right? I want to be on that hill, die trying, with youth academies before I send them over the bridge, because then it's too late. If they make the mistakes there, it's not good enough. Go, you're out. And that's maybe the whole thing about it.
I wanted to get this question in. Again, an aspect of the book, you've spent a chapter explaining it. The differences between game action, game situation, game phase, and game. How important is that in the planning process as you're building everything out?
Incredibly important. So we did one mistake is we should have flipped that stair. We should have flipped that stair this way around. So it's like we should have flipped it. For everybody who's listening, if you come to page, what is it? If you come to page 130, right? Just in your mind, flip it upside down. It starts with the game. This is it, right? The game should be on the left side, since we read from left to right. So the game is the starting point of everything. And then we start simplifying. And this is German phrases was hard to kind of translate within the book, but let's just have a look again. It's like, so you have that game. Here's 130. So the next one we call the game phase in German. It's like, so you simplify. You take away teammates and opponents to reduce ways of communicating. And then you might have it a 5v5, a 6v6, a 7v6. I don't know. I don't draw exact numbers, but it becomes simplified. To focus less on less on tactics. There's still tactics, but more on game insight, kind of understand how we as a group can solve this more often. So if we simplify even more, it becomes more of a situational thing, right? And again, reduce, it's still tactics, but less tactics because less ways of communicating, less teammates, less opponents. Still I need game insight, but a little less because executing those football action becomes more and more and more and more, like the frequency becomes higher in executing decisions. And then we call this game actions, you call it basic actions. And this is kind of a big thing is like most of coaches I work with and I speak with and I've went through, it's like this thinking that basic skills are the basic of the performing football action. But in my understanding, the foundation of that football action is a simplified football action. So I can't get away everything and give you a ball and pass it 1,000 times to a wall and then think you get a better player. Because if we make it to an extreme extent, if we have a player who for his life plays 5v5 whole life or 11v11 whole life, and another one is staying at the wall all alone and passing a ball against the wall and doing keep-ups and juggling the ball and just finishing empty nets, who will be the better player at the end? Right. So just to make a point. So therefore, simplifying the situation, and this is it, attacking is damn difficult, even for pros, right? This is a low scoring game. You score 3 goals a game, 2-1, 1, I don't know, low numbers. So scoring for pros in 11v11 is damn difficult. So then imagine a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old. It's freaking difficult. So then simplifying the situation, help them to understand, to solve it in a simplified, and then go back and test it in an equal number game. So therefore, when it becomes quick and direct, and so it is hard. So that's why we have to train it. We have to train it, and let's get better.
All right, last couple for you. This is absolutely flown. Let's talk about the German culture of coaching. Just looking at the back of the book, you've got, I mean, I've written a few books, but I haven't got the okay from people like Klinsmann, Bierhoff, Nagelsmann, and Hansi Flick. I mean, that's a hell of a back cover. How would you describe the German culture in terms of how you learn coaching, you continually challenge coaching, open to ideas?
It's still it's difficult. It's still hard to. I mean, we tried with that whole book. We tried to have an impact on the coach education, which I think we have. But still, as as more traditional AFA and things are, the harder you get some flexibility and movement into coaching and educating coaches. And so there are structures, they're grown for years, for decades. So we just try to give different perspectives. Right? We don't want to change the world upside down. And they all do a good job. Everybody in his own intentions, they want to help coaches to improve. And I think Germany, cultural structure is good in Germany. Like you be on time, everything is planned, kind of. But when it comes to football, we need to accept that it is a chaos. Right? There is chaos. So once we accept that chaos in the game, we learn how to understand that game and that football actions, improving a football action. You can plan to a certain extent, but you cannot plan it like to a detail something. So that's maybe sometimes simplicity. There is the pitch, there is a goal. If I only have this kind of players, don't come up with crazy ideas. Put them on their positions and find a way for them to attack and score and to defend and prevent within that pitch, right? And then it seems that simple, but we want to have them perform better on the weekend in 11v11. So there are no cones, there are no sticks, there are no lines. There's like, this is it. So go score. And come back to connecting training with the game is so important, and not that it's become something different. And then culture, this is too broad of a question, even though it's a great one.
See that connecting piece, the connection between, again, something that is often compartmentalized set pieces, and you've taken a principle, like you've got set piece work in the book, and that surprised me. But then listening to how you're, not, again, principles gets over branded, so I don't want to use that word, but your connectivity of concepts from, again, youth to pro, 2v1 to 11v11, set pieces, the game model. But now listening to you and you're talking about that, what's a constant in this interview is that scoring goals is difficult, but a lot of people use that difficulty and back off. You're leaning into that difficulty to say, listen, let's get stuck into it.
Nothing to add. I couldn't have said it better, Gary. That's it.
It's a brilliant book. It's been released, so you reached out. I haven't seen it out and about. I mean, is it on Amazon? Have I got the first copy of it? What stage is the release?
Kind of. Yeah, we've released it 2 weeks ago, maybe 3. I don't know exact the date. You can have it almost on every Amazon marketplace out there. If Canadians are listen to it, you can get it on Amazon Canada. You can get it on Amazon, whatever Amazon marketplace you're in. Yes, it's released. Go on Amazon, type in 2 versus 1. You're gonna find it. Go get your copy. I think it's worth it. So it is released. So thanks for having me today, because the same intention as we have over here in Germany. We want to help coaches and players and overall perspectives. I love that game as much as most of you guys, I'm pretty sure, but we want to improve the game, and then we need to have players and teams that just keeps on scoring, because that's what brings the fans. That's what it is about, right? That feeling, if the ball hits the back of the net, like if everyone goes nuts, if like that short moment, like you have great defending actions for sure, right? But in the end, you want to see those guys scoring, and this is what we try to help the world of football, the world of coaches, the world of players, to get better. So go out there, get that book, and let us know what your thoughts about. And again, thank you. This will definitely help to get it out there and get some people buying it and learn and do a better job in attacking.
I cannot recommend the book enough, and I don't. Again, we don't do that for every book that comes our way. But I want to throw one more at you, because you could very much have called the book "How to Score More Goals" and marketed it that way. But in that there, again, you might lose a little bit of someone will pick that up and say, all right, I've got a session tonight, tell me what to do. Now, you don't hide, nor have you hid behind in this interview, you haven't hid behind the fact that it's difficult. So for coaches, sometimes I feel that coaches, because of today's society of microwave, score goals in 3 weeks, it is a difficult process, coaching, right?
It is, and that's in our with Bernard Peters, my partner Otto here. It takes not only days or a month; it takes years. Like we've been in programs where you see if you keep teams and players together, like over the stretch of 2 or 3 years, you really see them grow. And then we speak about academies. With pros, it's difficult. Pros, once they buy into it, right? So it's longer for them to buy into the whole concept of I can really help you score more, right? Once they believe you can help them score more, then they buy into it, then they try to contribute. And then once that coin flipped, it goes. But like best practice example, now I've been coaching 2 years as an assistant coach here in Magdeburg, second Bundesliga in Germany. It was damn hard. It took a while. But now second year in, we're a low budget team. We end up being fifth with 53 points, but that doesn't matter so much. It matters that now me being in 2 years and I'm on, all the other coaches in the team did a great job. The players did a great job. So I don't want to make this, don't get me wrong. It's not only about me, but bringing in the concept and the ideas of the way of training, I will believe it had an impact of us creating the most big chances in the league, being the second best scoring machine team in the league, being the best team when it comes to, I don't know, I think we scored kind of like eight times more than 3 or 4 goals in one half. So like we were putting on 5-2s, 5-2s, 5-2s. We lost 3-4, okay, but we were like, we created a team and players, they totally believed when we're 2-0 down, we can easily win. We can easily win. For sure, it didn't work every time, but they believed if we have half an hour, we can score 3 goals no matter what. We're able to do it. Yeah. So that's maybe one small example.
Yeah, I'm actually started a new book. I've nearly finished already. Andre Iguodala, who played for the Golden State Warriors, and he said that it takes in the NBA it takes a year to learn the offense of a head coach, and that's 5 players who are super skilled, who know like a year. And in football, we think we can do it in a week.
No chance. Yes, but sometimes we think, no, it's practice, but it's worth it. It's worth it.
Absolutely.
Thank you again.
Fantastic, Andreas. Thank you. We'll do something again. I really appreciate it. Congrats on the book, and thanks for coming on.
Thank you.